Bow, chicka wow wow. What's up, party people? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Elkivate Your Life. I am your hostess with the mostess. L as in the letter L, and key as in the key to your heart. And I am so thrilled to have my friend here, Jeff Pata, who I'm always talking about in my podcast. Special guest, Jeff, say hello to everyone.
Hello, party people. How are you doing today? Glad to be here.
Yes, finally, we made it happen. It only took a year.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, better late than never,
That's
right?
For sure.
So, a couple things I wanted to ask you about since it is Wisdom Wellness Wednesday. I was thinking about this a lot, especially because of what I have going on in my life right now with work. It's super, I don't like to use negative connotation, but it's stressful. I'm not going to lie. We're like understaffed, overworked, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I was thinking about you because I'm always talking about how you have all these great techniques about how to stay grounded and, you know, not get stuck in the funk. And so I kind of wanted to pick your brain about what you do to not let yourself get upset or anxious. What do you do to manage those things? What are some of your strategies?
Yeah, what I generally do is try to, this is kind of mindful, so it might go with Mindful Monday more than
that's okay.
Wednesday.
That's okay.
But I try to really be mindful of my thoughts, because thoughts are, the prelude to actions, right?
Yes.
And so everything starts with a thought, right? And it kind of sounds a little corny, but thoughts dictate everything, right? And so when I start thinking negative things, I think, now how is this going to serve me? Are these negative thoughts going to really serve me? And so when I can make that transition to where I have negative thoughts, that gives me the opportunity to switch it, right? Okay, so how do I switch these negative thoughts into something positive? Because I believe that even negative things can bring us positive outcomes.
Yes, I agree.
Right? Depending on how we look at life.
Yes.
Everything is about perception.
Right.
And so when I'm having negative things come into my life, what I try to do is think, there's a reason why I'm going into these negative things, and so like what I do is I believe that everything happens for my best good, and I honestly feel that way. So even when things are happening negative, I know that those negative things are really going to come out for my most positive good, right? Which is hard. It's so hard to do, though.
Well, I want to chime in. I don't want to interrupt your thought because what I am reprogramming my brain, because I tell people don't put that out to the universe, right? Because what you put out, you're going to get back.
Absolutely.
And so what I say to myself now when these negative things happen, I go, what is the lesson here?
Yeah.
So it's kind of
There's a
what
lesson.
you're saying,
Absolutely.
right?
There's absolutely a lesson in everything, whether it's positive or negative.
Right.
And so when you can recognize that you're thinking negative thoughts or having negative feelings, it's a good chance to go, okay, I'm just going to accept that whatever this negative thing is happening to me, it's happening for my own good, whether you're getting stuck in traffic, you need to be somewhere like I was today. I was trying to get here.
Right.
I was a little late,
I know, that's
right?
a great example.
And then so I'm thinking, I'm a little frustrated because I wanted to be on time. I love to be on time, because I know people's time is precious, and so I want to respect that. But there was something that was holding me back for some reason, in life today to get here a few minutes late. Right. And that happens with everything, whether it's something you don't get something you want in life at the moment you want it. There's a reason why, and if I, not you, but if I think of life that way, it tends to work in my best good, you know?
Right.
And so I really try to think, even the good things that happen for me, whether it's good or bad, it's always in the long run happening for my best good.
Okay.
Right?
So you just shift your mindset
It's
to
the
a
mindset.
different way
Absolutely.
of thinking.
Absolutely, because we have a choice in life to think negative or positive. You think either one or the other, right?
Right.
And so
Right.
we really have that choice, you know. And so I choose to try and think positive. Now, do I always think positive? Of course not. I'm human.
Right.
And I run
Right.
into things that frustrate me,
Yeah.
but when I can recognize that I'm in that negative state, that gives me the chance to flip it to the positive.
Okay.
And the more I do that, the more I learn how to do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so it gets easier the more I do it, the easier it gets to stay into the positive vibes of life, you know?
So interesting that you're sharing that with me, because the stuff that's happening at work, it's because of one bad apple, sorry to say. Sorry, not sorry, guys, but...
sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. And so whenever this person approaches me and is like, that's not our job, I'm not doing that, da, 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 I'm like, I rebuke your negativity. I literally tell her that. I'm like, she goes, that's not our job, you shouldn't do that. I go, don't tell me how to do my job.
Yeah.
I know how to do my job.
Yeah.
That's your way of thinking.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate that you feel that way.
Yeah.
But I rebuke it. I don't receive that negative energy, and I will not engage. I will literally walk away. And so what I've been saying to people at work or in these situations is, and this is something I got from my friend Brett, is you can look at the cup half full or half empty, or I'm just grateful to have a cup. And that's what I tell her. I'm like, I'm grateful to have a cup. I'm happy to have a job that I love. You know what I mean? So all that stuff you're trying to put on me and put out there, I don't want it. I don't want any of it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
And it's also just a cup with water. You know what I mean? It depends on whatever you look at. You can look at it as a cup half empty, a cup that's almost empty, a cup that's waiting to get filled.
Right.
I mean, it's all about our own perspective in life. You know what I mean? And so I mean, that's how I try to keep my
that's
mental
how you manage
wellness.
it. That's
you
good.
know?
That's a great strategy.
It's something that it's a work in progress, of course, you know, and I haven't been doing it my whole life, but lately I have, and it's kind of working out. You know what I mean?
So, did you get this philosophy from like reading about Buddha, or how did you?
All of them, to be honest. I take a little bit. Personally, I don't subscribe to any religion whatsoever. I'm spiritual, you know, and so I believe in God. Now, everybody has their own interpretation of what God is, you know.
Yeah.
And I respect all of them. Whatever works for them is fine. You know, anything that's higher than here, there's a higher self.
Right.
But so like I said, I don't, subscribe to any particular religion, but I respect all of them.
Same.
And and so, that being said, I just try to do the best I can for me and treat people with respect and honor, and try not to judge anybody for anything, because they're for me to be judged as well. Right. You know?
Right.
And it tends to work for me. You know what I mean? It tends to, like I said, it tends to work for me. So that's kind of how I subscribe to, religion and God and things like that. It's of acceptance, basically.
Yeah, I think that's good. One of the things I talk about in the pod a lot is, so I was raised Christian, right? But even being raised Christian, as I came into adulthood, I went to like every church out there, because I'm like, that's what was impressed upon me from my mom and my babysitter and all that, and I want to make sure it resonates with me. Yeah. And this is why I tell people, even though I committed to Christianity, like I love a lot of the philosophies. I go to I'm trying to think of what it's called. It's like Land of Buddha. It's in like San Jose area. You've probably been to it. And I love a lot of their beliefs and I read a lot of that stuff. And then I tell people, well, I also believe in astrology, numerology. Like, why do I have to put myself in a box where I commit to one thing when there's all this information?
You can take what works for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so I
and
love
that's
that.
what I do as well. Like I take a little bit from whatever resonates with me.
Exactly.
I take that from, and then the rest I don't worry about. You
Yeah.
know? I was raised Catholic.
Okay.
Right, and as I got older, it didn't like really resonate with me completely.
Right.
But there are certain things that did resonate and stuck with me, you know. But also, you know, Hinduism and Buddhism.
Right.
And so I think that, I really think that, personally, I think that all the religions are just another translation of all the same message, to be honest.
Yes,
You know,
I agree.
They're all kind of trying to say the same message, and so all the different religions just is a different way of translating it to different people so that they can understand it.
Right,
You
right.
know,
That makes
if
sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I subscribe to, basically.
Well, I have to say, you and my friend Kyle think very much alike, and Kyle is one of the guys I talk about. One of my subscribers is like family to me, and I catch myself now more so because of you and Kyle and the amount of time we've known each other and the things we talk about. Even my friend Anthony is like, don't just subscribe to that way of thinking. Like, that's stinking thinking, you know, and I'm like, okay, but this is really like, how do I switch it? And so it's helpful. Yeah, it's helpful for me to talk to you and because when I need that reminder, you or somebody comes to my mind, I'm like, oh, that's
thank you. Yeah.
Literally, you guys could probably hear my meditation music in the background.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah. But it takes practice.
Like anything else, right?
Absolutely.
You have to keep doing it for it to become a habit.
Yes,
it takes 30 days to become a habit or something.
No, yeah, for sure. You have to practice it, and it doesn't. And then the more you practice it, the kind of easier it just comes to you. You know,
right.
Because really thinking positive, like when we were talking earlier about like when negative things happen, you think, okay, where's the lesson here?
Right.
That takes so much like work to just switch from getting into your negative thoughts and feelings to going, okay, well, what is this trying to teach me? But it just takes practice to go, okay, recognize it, and then now try and flip it. And so it doesn't automatically happen because we were taught differently from people that probably didn't know any better.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, really, I think
the generation
like my
that
parents, I want to believe that they did the best that they absolutely could do with what they knew, right? And then so as we learn other things and new techniques, then we try to do better,
right?
And teach our kids better, and so you know, and so on and so on. So
that's good. I really love that. Well, I tell you, whenever I'm really struggling and I'm emotional or whatever, I still think of you. I'm like, I need to take off my shoes and go stand in the earth and get grounded. Yeah. So those little things do stick with me. Yeah. And I do feel better.
You do.
Whether it doesn't matter if it's day, night, whatever it is, I'm like, oh, I need to go and ground myself. So those little techniques, I am
very good
being better about.
So proud of you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's excellent. And you know, it happens instantaneous too. You know, and like when I was growing up, they used to call people like that tree huggers, right? Tree huggers. So to me, tree huggers were like hippies.
Yeah.
The 60s and stuff. Like.
Right.
Well, I mean, I was born in the 60s. I was a child in the 60s and more grew up in the 70s. However, I consider myself a hippie. You know, I'm a hippie, right?
Yeah.
And so when people talk about tree huggers, like for me, I go, I love tree huggers.
Right.
You know, because I know that I don't have to go hug it. All I have to do is just touch a tree.
Yeah.
You touch a tree, and the energy that it grounds you because the tree is rooted in the earth, and you can put your bare feet on the ground,
right,
on the dirt or the grass,
right,
or you can just touch a tree or hug a tree. And it sounds really corny, but what it does is like we are energy. Yeah. Our bodies are energy. Right. So. Right. So when you touch a tree or you ground yourself to earth, you're taking the earth, you're feeding the earth positive energy, which it needs. And the earth is feeding you its negative grounding, which you need.
Yeah.
And so you're both doing each other. When you touch a tree and hug a tree, you're not just getting something, you're giving.
Right.
You're giving your energy to that tree as well.
Wow,
Right?
that's so
it's
powerful.
It's
I never
it's a
really
give and
thought
take
about
thing.
it.
It's
Yeah.
this positive and negative being
Okay.
transferred, right?
Yeah.
And so negative energy needs positive energy to
Right.
balance.
Right, to balance. Yeah.
And positive
Makes sense.
energy needs negative energy to balance. Right? So the more you do that, you should.
I never thought about the whole
You're not
tree
just taking.
hugging.
You're not just taking. You're giving.
I mean, it makes perfect sense when
Yes.
you break it down.
Yeah.
It makes perfect
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and back then it was given a negative connotation.
Yes.
And now,
Even now, it still is kind of.
like,
Oh, you're.
I don't know.
You're
You
the
know,
woke tree hugger or whatever it is.
I
you
know.
what I mean?
I
Whatever.
struggle with that because I grew up same generation as you,
Yeah.
and we were the ones that had, the VW van and would pick up hitchhikers that were hippies.
God, I hitchhiked all over the place.
Right, and it's
Yeah.
like, your family did what? And my brother and I were kids at the
Yeah.
time. We're like, we're picking up this stranger.
Yeah.
But now looking back on it, it's like we were just living in a different time.
It was different time.
Innocent.
Yeah.
And people were good people.
Yeah.
It was not, yeah.
They're still good people,
Yeah.
but we just have a lot of fear.
Yeah,
now because
a lot of people are living in
when
fear.
we're younger, we're footloose and fancy free.
Right.
And so-
Not thinking
and-
about that
and,
stuff. Yeah.
Not that I'm saying you can live that way these days, and it's a safe way to live, but you can't live in fear.
That's true.
You
That's
you
true.
really have to try to live in love and acceptance, and of course, not be reckless,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But we have to get back to living
I
in
know.
love and in acceptance rather than fear and hate, right?
Yeah. I have a little.
And it's really tough.
Yeah.
It's tough to do, especially when we have littles and kids and grandkids now and stuff, and like we're like our parents were.
Right.
You know,
Don't
so
talk
I
to
get it.
strangers. Make sure you don't do this.
Stranger danger.
Right.
I mean, I get all that
yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like you said, it's about balance.
Yeah.
So, fun fact about me, I have a friend who totally knew about numerology, astrology, like knew when Michael Jackson, she was like, oh, I knew he was going to die on this stage, like crazy. Like I wish I knew as much as she did in that respect. But one of the things she told me is, and this is another reason why we get along so well and can talk about these things, is I was like, am I ever going to get married? And she goes, your purpose here is to bring joy to people's lives. She goes, that's why you are who you are. That's why, like when I go out to clubs or restaurants or whatever, and people are on their phones and on their computers, I'm like, what are you doing? Excuse me, do you see that there's people here? Mm-hmm. And while we have to use devices for certain things, I just feel like there's such a disconnect in the world with that, to where it's just become the babysitter, people aren't talking to people anymore or engaging, and it's a lost art form.
Absolutely.
And so I'm that girl that's going to call you out, like, you can do that shit at home. You want to go text on your phone.
Yeah.
Literally, I called people out in the club, like, what are you doing? They're like, oh, texting my friends. I'm like, do you see where you are? There's music and dancing and people talking.
Yeah.
You can do that shit at home. Put that away and engage with people, because this is a lost art form. And it's been proven when people go to their college interviews, they don't know how to interact with people because they've gotten so attached to having this.
Yes.
That they've lost the art of connection.
Right.
So my point to what you were saying, just piggybacking on it, is loving people, accepting, and just connecting. And I'm that girl that whenever I go out and I see people that are by themselves, I'm like, what are you doing by yourself? Come sit with us. Just like how you are. When we went out that time,
Yes.
like, don't sit over there. Come sit over here.
Right. You know what I call that? Living in the now.
Yes.
Right? So, like, when you're living in fear, which we talked about when you're living in fear. When you're living in fear, you're living in the future. Fear of what's going to happen it's what's going to happen before.
Right.
And then when you're like depressed or whatever, you're living in the past because you're depressed about something that maybe have happened in the past or whatever. But like the only pure joy that we really have is living in the right now. You and I are communicating, having a nice conversation with your friends here, you know.
Right.
And so we are in the present moment right now.
Yes.
And when you see people in the club, they're not, and they're on their phones, or they're not even living the present moment right now. And that's what you're getting at, is that we really need to get back to just being present right now, right? Because that's really all we have. Yesterday is gone, so it doesn't exist. It only exists in our memory, right? And the future of what our fear or whatever our hopes for the future is still in our thoughts and memory. It doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is right now. You and me right here. For us, this is what exists, right? Yeah. And for our friends that are going to listen to this later, they'll begin to now listening to it right now, as they're listening to it. And then and that takes practice too, like as far as being mindful, you know what I mean? But once you do it, once you think, oh, I need to be in the present, now you've already brought yourself to the present.
Yes.
And then the more you practice doing that, is bring yourself into the present, whatever it is, and enjoying that, or even if you can't enjoy it, honor it for whatever it is, lesson it's giving you. Yeah. You're still in the present, right? And the more that I keep myself in the present, just the better off for me it is. You know? Yeah,
so you found something that works for you.
Yes.
That helps you.
Absolutely.
And like I said, that's what I was asking. Strategies. We all need strategies. My friends tease me because whenever I'm on the phone with them, they hear the meditation music in the background. And I'm that's what helps me.
Absolutely.
It's just become part of me. So people that know me know when you call me or whatever, you're going to hear meditation in the background. And that's what helps. That's one of my grounding things that just keeps me calm, keeps me self-aware.
Yeah.
And, oh my God.
It's whatever works for anybody, right?
Right.
Yeah. Because I'm kind of the same thing. I've lately gotten into, I always say it sounds kind of corny because it kind of does, but like healing frequencies. Yeah. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm really kind of
delving into that now.
Yeah, into kind of some newer kind of technology stuff. But
I love
for me, it's newer, but it's really ancient technology
that
has been like kind of shelved, right? Because the stuff I'm learning is not new. Right. It's been around for millions of years. Like I believe the Earth has been like millions of years older than than we've been taught that it is. Yes. And so there's a lot of lost knowledge that we can relearn. I agree. Okay. And so so I've been getting into kind of healing frequencies kind of thing, and then also meditative and music and stuff like that.
It does
vibrations, and things like that.
It does transcend you. I will say that, and the vibrations.
Really does. Yes.
Since you brought that up, I want to talk about this for a second. So, when I went through my health journey, I didn't really know too much about being on vibration. Right? I didn't know. I wasn't that aware. But then I was talking to somebody, Lovesick Angel.
Okay.
Dawn.
Yeah.
And I was going, all of a sudden, these people are just gravitating to me. Like strangers are coming up from me, like, hey, what are you doing? And she goes, because you're on a different frequency now.
Yes.
Because your mindset is different. And so one of the things I talk about is I didn't know I was going through a physical transformation, but also mental, spiritual,
absolutely,
like all different levels, right?
Absolutely.
And that, when she told me that, I go, yeah, you're right. That makes perfect sense.
When you're on a different frequency, I believe the same thing. When I'm on a certain frequency, I'm emitting that frequency, and it's just like a radio or a television, like that. There's thousands of frequencies right now that are surrounding us right now. Right. But if we only turn to 104.1, we're going to get the hawk. Or if we go to 107.7, the bone, we're going to get that
Yes.
because we're tuning into that frequency. But there's thousands of them that are right there. But so wherever you turn into, people that are on the same frequency are gonna gravitate towards you.
That's so interesting.
And so if you're on positive frequencies, like I don't know what number the positive thing is, but like you'll notice, like I notice, like babies stare at me all the time. Babies, like I'll walk by and babies will just like,
yes.
You know what I mean? Like, and I go, I know I'm a strange looking old man or whatever, you know what I mean? But but I get it a lot, you know what I mean? And that's so like I'm really good with babies, animals, and old people.
That's so interesting. That same thing happens to me literally wherever I go. They're just like
because they're tuning in, they feel the frequency and they feel the energy. And so like you notice like the old, you know, curmudgeon, grumpy old people, nobody's tuning into that. You know what I mean? They're like, you know what I mean? They're not, they're not going up to those people and going, man, hey, what's your name? Or whatever, you know, they're not even, because they're on a different frequency. They're not even tuned into that. And so it's so that, and that's the thing about staying positive. And if you stay positive, it will emit positive and attract positive.
Right.
And the more positive attracts, the more you're going to emit. And then, you know, because like, you know, attracts like. Right?
Yeah.
And that's what I love about you. Is you're very positive. You've always been very positive and very, yes. And I recognize that, you know, in people. And so that's what I've always liked about you, is you always have a positive attitude. And you're always looking to better yourself, you know, and looking to learn about things and be, you know, open to people and to different, you know, different things. And so that's what I think, you know, has originally attracted me to you is your creativeness and your positivity.
Thank you.
And, you know, and I think it's the same. You know, I think
absolutely same. And every time I talk about our first interaction and how our friends didn't want to sit with us, and you're like, "No, F that, get over here. I'm grabbing you some chairs." I'm like, yes, that's what I needed, because I couldn't physically do that. That's where you be. But I'm all about bringing people together, and I do try to be as positive as possible, because there is too much negative in the world to where it's like, we could go down that rabbit hole, but why? And I do the same thing. I go, is this serving me? Like, how is this? And even when friends come to me for advice about stuff, I go, well, how is that relationship serving you? That's what comes to mind. So it does definitely take practice, and I'm not the expert that you and Anthony and Kyle are, but it is
not an expert, but I've just
you've just been practicing it longer.
Probably. And that's the thing, is like, this is the one thing that I've learned is no matter how hard you try or want someone to see the light that you admit, you can't. Like, you can only bring a horse to water,
right?
And like, there's nothing you can do to make them admit the light. Everybody has a light in them. Everybody has a light, right? Some people have bug lights. You know what I mean? Like, some people are a shining light, and then some other people just have bug lights, man. And just like, and there's nothing you can do to make that bug light a shining beacon, right? Yeah. So, not to say that we need to give up on anybody, but we have to release our wanting to save them or make or somehow change their shine. You know, we have to accept it and then just be, and hope that they see the change in me or in us, and they go, man, I want to shine like that. Right. Not, you need to shine like this. Or you need to do that. No, you just be. You know, I just try to be the best that I can, and be the best friend that I can, and the best lover I can, and then hopefully they want to chime into it, and want to, you know, want to meet me there. And if not, then I'll send you a postcard. Right. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't come with me, I'll send you a postcard, but I ain't hanging back and waiting for you.
I love your little,
You know what I mean?
your little analogies and antidotes. They're so cool. Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you say that, and I have so much to talk about, and I want to make sure we stay on our time thing. But
well, you can have me back. We can do this again.
Yes. I just want to make sure we touch on Monday's topic a little bit. Nothing serious, but to your point. So when I was talking to you about how people were just gravitating to me. In that same time frame, the people that weren't supposed to be in my life were like exiting my life. It wasn't even like, hey, I don't want to be your friend anymore. Yes. Yeah. And that's when I recognized it is about frequency and really energy because I go, oh, that person, it was that relationship or friendship wasn't serving me well. And that's why.
Sometimes those are the ones you go, man, I
know.
I really was looking forward to that one connecting, but it doesn't always. Right. It doesn't always connect.
Right. So, yes. Yeah. I am getting better at the acceptance part. I guess because I am of the growth mindset that when I meet people that are of the fixed mindset, I'm like, why don't you want to learn and grow?
Yeah.
You know? But I have to, like you said, I have to just accept, like, hey, I gotta be me.
Absolutely, gotta be me. Yeah. But you know what, really, like, give yourself a break on that because you're not, like, with me, I'm the same way. Like how sometimes I go, God, how can you not see what I'm telling you? Or how can you not feel what I'm feeling? How can you not get it? Right? And I'm not saying that or feeling that because I feel like I'm somehow superior in any way. Right. What it is I care about this person. Yes. And it works for me, and I'm like, if it works for me, of all people, it's gotta work for you too. Right. You know? Right. And so so you're not really trying to like force your opinions on someone because you think that you're any better or they're any less.
No, definitely not.
What it is you really care about that person, and you're like, man, I just want you to just breathe and relax and enjoy, right? You know, I want you to feel what I feel.
So true.
You know what I mean? And sometimes it comes across, I know for me, because I have friends that, you know, they'll go, well, you think you're always right or whatever, you know. But I do think I'm always right. But anyway. But this is what my dad used to tell me. He goes, look, I'm not always right, but I'm never wrong.
Oh, okay.
And
hey,
so
apple doesn't fall far from the tree there.
No, so I was like, that makes no freaking sense whatsoever. Like, whatever, Dad. But as I got older, I realized what he was saying. Like, it's like, I may not always be right, because you can't always be right. But if I come from a good place, I can never be wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I may not always be right, but I'm never wrong. So, like, I know that now.
Yeah.
But someone who isn't thinking in that mindset.
Yes.
They're gonna think, oh, you're just trying to think you'd be all up, whatever.
Right.
You know what I
Getting
mean?
On your
they're not on the frequency, and you can't get them to your frequency yet. So you have to let them.
Yeah,
you can't take everybody. You can't take everybody with you right away.
Right.
But you have to keep moving forward in your journey.
I am getting better at that.
Yeah.
I am getting better at that. So thank
me
you
too.
for shedding some light.
Yeah,
I do. I mean, like anything, practice makes perfect. So we got to keep practicing, right? Because just for the betterment
keep doing you, man. Because
yeah.
what you do and what you're doing is a good thing.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? I get something from it, and I'm sure all your listeners get something from it. And not everybody's going to get everything.
Right.
And you're not going to get it. We don't get everything either. Right?
No, I totally accept the whole not everybody's going to like you, not everybody's going to love you.
Keep being you, man.
And literally what I say.
Because it's coming from a good place.
Yes.
It's coming from a good place. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So just keep doing that.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I want to touch on with you is, so Monday I did a podcast with my 24-year-old daughter, so Gen Z, and our mutual friend. I know. And our mutual friend Sarah, who is a millennial, and so I wanted to get the man's perspective because we were talking about some websites. One of them was called T. It's where women only women can subscribe to it, and it's basically to see the men that are out there, like, are these good guys or bad guys kind of thing. And I feel like, I don't want you guys to think it wasn't a men bashing thing, because my daughter's been in a relationship for 3 years. She's like, I'm happily in this relationship.
Yeah.
I just heard about this website, and we ended up finding some of our friends on there that got a lot of red flags.
Wow.
And so we were just trying to educate people. We're like, what's a website you know about?
Yeah.
You know, they're telling me all kinds of stuff. I'm like, I haven't been on websites since Girl Zeus, which was back in the day on Facebook. I'm like, so I don't even know all the dating sites. So we were talking about that, and we were talking about these are the tools that women use to feel safe in today's society with men, because it's all about like body count or just dating just to date. Like, people don't want to settle down. So I want to find out, do you have any thoughts or opinions on dating in the now?
I got so many thoughts and opinions on it.
I think
We're going to have to do a whole nother
I was going to say, okay.
But in a nutshell, I can kind of...
In a nutshell, yes. Give me the Cliff Notes. Give me the
I
Reader's Digest.
can give you the bullet points. Okay, so... as far as dating sites are concerned, I get that whole the idea of it. However, I think that it's overwhelming for most people, because there's so many different. It opens you up to so many different people and opportunities that you kind of feel like you can't really concentrate on one or two, because you're going to miss all the other ones that are out there. Yeah. So I think that people nowadays, they go to these dating sites and they think, oh, I'm looking for that one. Because everybody's looking for somebody to, everybody's looking for that connection, right?
Right.
And so I feel like it almost, people don't really give the dating a chance to even germinate, because there's just so many out there, and within the first 15 or 20 minutes of the date, they're like, oh no, I got 5 or 6 more waiting in line over here, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So as far as the dating app thing, that's kind of, I'm not really into that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never have been on a date from one of those ever.
Mine was short.
I'm not knocking it.
Unsuccessful.
Listen, I'm not knocking it. I'm sure it happens for people. Just my opinion is it's just, there's just too many out there.
Too many options.
Too many options, and then it's not that there's too many options, but then in the back of your head, it gives you too many. You think in the first 15, 20, 30 minutes, or even the first date, you go, oh, if that's not, fireworks, and then there's there's all these other out here, right?
Yeah.
As far as dating, actual dates are concerned, I'm real stickler on this one. I like to go on adventure dates. Worst thing I could do for me is go on a dinner date, or drinks or dinner, where we're sitting across each other for for a couple hours, interviewing each other for a life partner or something like.
Yeah,
right?
it just gives you
let's just get to know each other. Let's just first see if. I don't need to know what you do for a living. I don't need to know how many kids you got. I don't need to know how many times you've been married. I don't need to know how much money you make. I don't need to know what you own, what you got, what you. Let's just go see if we can have some fun. Let's go see if we can just enjoy an evening. Go bowling, or go to a concert, or go. I want to go on dates.
Where you're doing
go
real
do something.
Life
just go see if we can just enjoy each other's company before we. What do I care how many kids you got? Blah 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 blah. Before I even know if we can even go and enjoy a night together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that people use dates as like an interview for a life partner, and that's just way too soon. You know what I mean? Go on some dates and just go to. Go to the museum and go to the beach and go, don't worry about what someone has, what they do, how much they make, how many kids, because it doesn't really matter right now. You're just seeing if you can, enjoy each other's company and have fun together.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's how I feel about dating. And I think people take it too seriously way too quick. And it kind of ruins it.
I agree.
Because you might.
Well, there's so many expectations there when you do it that, right?
Yeah.
It's here's my list, And hopefully you check all the boxes, but
Yeah.
you don't want to do that on the first date before you
Gosh,
even
no,
know.
because you know what, you might think that you don't want to date somebody that might have a kid or 2 kids, or that doesn't make as much money as you think that someone you want someone to make, or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
You're like, and then you miss out on what kind of person that is, and maybe that person might just love you or treat you the best you've ever been treated in your life, and then you might come to find out that other shit doesn't really freaking matter to me, really. What really matters is the connection that we have, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's my thought on dating in a nutshell. But
I think that's a perfect summary of what a lot of the men, even for myself, I feel like.
my age, anyway, you know, old, ancient.
I know.
My ancient age,
old.
we're old. Like,
We're
so,
old
like,
as
I'm
dirt.
sure the youngsters, you're like, well, that old guy don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Well, so in the last episode, we were talking about a list, a guide to meet this guy's wife. He had a list. And I do think, like, deal breakers. Like, I think that's a good thing to have deal breakers. Not necessarily on the first date, right? Unless
No,
it's like,
no, of course not.
oh, you do drugs and you're doing all this. I don't want that.
Well,
like, that's
yeah.
extreme. I'm coming up with an extreme.
Yeah, no. Of course, there's always extremes.
Right.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
But I will say to
Unless I
your
get a
point.
good deal on it. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
But I will say to your point, well, even when even before I met you and went out with you, I said, anybody that asks me out, I'm going to say yes to. Because what if that yes leads to other yeses?
That's my point.
And that was my
That's my
mentality.
point. You
And
can't,
so
yeah.
and so even though we weren't
went out
like
one
a match,
time.
I know, even though we weren't a match or a love connection,
No, yeah.
I had the best time with
We
you.
did.
We had the
I met
best
some
time.
really good of your friends. We had a great time.
We had a great time.
Yeah.
And I tell
And we never went out again. But it was fine. You
I know,
what I mean?
and
Like,
I tell
yeah.
my friends, like, what if this person ends up being your best friend, or their best friend has some, like,
Right.
even
And we
though
became lifelong friends.
Yes,
After
yes.
that, right? So yeah. So the thing is like,
missed
you can't-
opportunities.
yeah, you can't, be so stringent. Just like be open.
Yes.
Just be open and like that's my advice to people when you're
I like
dating. Be open and just go have some fun. Don't worry about how much money someone makes or this or that or whatever. Just go see if you can enjoy each other's company
Yeah.
first and foremost, because that's what you're gonna do the most anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's a great example, because as you're talking about it, I'm thinking of the fun things that I've done on dates, and that's where you learn, how does this person handle conflict? Like,
Yeah.
we're going to go rafting, and they're like, oh no, I'm
Thank
not
you.
putting on the vest. Or,
No, thank you.
oh, I'm not going to paddle. You're
Yeah.
like, okay.
And you know, it's okay to learn that about
Yeah.
what people are willing to do and not to do, but you at least know, okay, they don't like that.
Right.
What do they like?
Right.
You know,
right.
and is that thing really that important to me? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so like that's the whole thing, is like just kind of, getting to know each other first before worried about all the other like the interview thing, like the dinner and drinks where you're just sitting across from each other. I'm like, that's the last thing I want to do. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to remember. I'm like, did we do dinner?
No, we
No,
didn't.
we went to listen to
we had
music,
drinks
we
and
had
met your
drinks
friends, and we listened. We went to a couple different places
Yeah,
and listened to music, which I
Right.
love,
With-
live music.
same.
We just went to a few different places
Yeah.
in Livermore, live music. It was very casual, and it was
Yeah.
a lovely evening. It was
Yeah.
great. And there was nothing. There was no red flags or anything. We went out once, and that was it. That's just the way it was. You know what I
Right,
mean? And it was
right.
fine. It was
Yeah.
totally fine. And we ended up becoming lifelong
I
friends.
know. I have to say, during that phase of my life, you and my friend Ron and the people that I dated, I'm still very good friends with to
Yeah.
this day. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. So
Right.
just if I had the list of, oh, he's not, 6'4", whatever. I'm just
Right.
throwing
No,
stuff
no,
out
right,
there.
right.
If I had that, and that's what I'm trying to tell my single friends, which is why
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about this,
Yeah.
because they're like, well, he has to have A, B, C. I'm like, what if you're missing out on an opportunity because
Yeah.
of that surface level
Yeah,
thing?
you're
limiting
You're
yourself.
totally limiting yourself.
Yeah.
And then that's what I feel about dating apps too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you limit yourself with when you finally make an attraction, like, because we all swipe left or right or whatever that is, right? You go, oh, they're cute or they're attractive, and then you meet them, and then if you make a judgment, even within the first date, I mean, I would say at least two. At least two.
Yeah.
Never just one.
Yeah.
Like at least two, and see if they might have been having a bad day, or you never know what people are going through, and stuff. And so, but I think in the back of their head, they're thinking, "Gosh, I got 10 other ones that want to date me too." Like it's gotta, like they think they gotta see all these sparks and all these fireworks and shit, and it's like that's bullshit. It's bullshit.
I didn't even think about that until you literally shared it. There's all these other options and all that instant gratification.
It's in the back of your head going, well, you better be, you better wow me because
you dared to come dressed like that?
I got some people back here that can't wait to date me, right? So like the guys or the girl, because the guys are the same way too. They're, you're behind the 8 ball already,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great perspective. You just gave the dating sites a whole new meaning. Of just things we haven't talked about that are there. I
got a weird perspective.
No,
it's
I
very
don't think
different.
so. I think it's different, and I do think that for me, I just think meeting in person is just so much more authentic. Not to say, I mean, hats off to the people that it worked for. That's great. Happy for you.
Totally.
It didn't work out for me. My people didn't show up.
Yeah.
Or the one that did. I was in one relationship from one app for like a long time, like years. But other than that,
it can work. I mean, it can totally work.
I do think it's a great tool. But like anything, people can abuse it, right? And misuse it. And yeah, it's interesting that we have so many similar views. Okay. Well, I'm looking at the time and seeing we're probably going to be.
I'm gonna get the hook here in a minute. I think we're about 2 minutes away from getting the hook.
Well, I gotta make sure I tell everybody thank you. I gotta make sure I say thank you to like my subscribers, my sponsors.
Don't forget to thank me.
I always do that. Even
you do. I appreciate that.
Now that you're here, I'll show you. Every time I talk about you, I go, and Jeff, namaste. I make sure that I do that because he is the guy that helps keep me grounded. But I want to make sure I say thank you to all my subscribers. Kara, Love My Artist, .etsy. Check out her site. I'm always talking about how creative she is. She has a ton of stuff. Music, art, paintings, clothing, just an array of stuff. And Kyle Few, I always call him Professor Kyle or Guru Kyle. Commitment to Love. Love is a Verb. Love that book. It was on Audible, and I have to tell you,
I want to get his book. I would love to get his
it's so good. I looked for it on Audible last night because one of the reasons I wanted to ask you about the dating thing is one of my friends, Roger, thank you for subscribing. He's like, I'm just giving up on love. Like, these women don't know a good man. And I'm like, no, please don't utter those words to me. Like, don't give up on love. Just realize that it's not your time right now, or they're not the people for you. And it's okay to keep meeting people.
Maybe he needs to love himself a little more. And then it'll come to him.
I literally said that. But I just think sometimes when we're in that headspace of wanting to meet somebody, it's like, I go back to this comedian where she goes, my friends were telling me I look too lonely. And she goes, what am I, the lonely puppy dog? And I go, yeah, maybe you're emitting that energy or that frequency.
Yes.
You don't
if you
realize
feel that,
it.
You're emitting it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So you just have to go out and be like, I'm the shit. Like, everybody wants me. Everybody wants me.
I have a saying, real quick, that no matter, like your friend that says, oh, there's no real love out there, blah, blah, blah. I don't mean blah, blah, blah. That means, like, that's a real feeling, and I can honor that.
Yes.
Right? But give your love away, even though you, in a way you feel it's not going to come back to you. Where just keep giving it away like you're made of it, right?
Oh, okay.
Like you're made of it, and like, because you are. because you really are. So just keep giving your love away.
Okay.
And eventually what goes out comes back.
Yeah.
Now, maybe not your timeline. Maybe not in the time you want or you think. But just keep giving it away, because eventually it's going to boomerang and come back to you. And it will come back in tenfold what you give. So give your love away like you're made of it, because we are made of it. We're made of it.
Yes,
right?
yes. I hope you're listening and watching Roger. I know you are, because he subscribes to me and he listens. He's like, I
want to get his book. I want
So
get
Kyle's book,
Yeah.
Commitment to Love, Love is a Verb. He talks about.
Is it on Audible? You said
it is on Audible. I couldn't find it on Amazon last night, but I know it's
Audible,
there.
So I'll get it.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to get your book.
Yeah, one of the things I love about it is he talks about you love it. It sounds so simple. You're talking about corny, right?
Yeah.
It sounds so simple, but people make it more complicated than it needs to be. But
it's simple, but it's not easy to do.
Yes.
But it's simple.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he literally talks about love is a choice every day. It is a choice.
Absolutely.
And you have to make it a choice. Just like you have to nourish your body, that's what you have to do to love.
Yeah.
To love yourself, to love others. And when I'm like, this is so simple and basic.
It really is.
But we overthink it.
It's not easy.
Right.
We make it difficult. We make it, for sure.
Yeah. So, shout out to Kyle. I want to make sure Dr. Ryan Swen, I got to come see you for another HBOT therapy. He made such a difference. He is a chiropractor for Pinnacle Wellness Center, and he has a very different alternative approach where he doesn't just adjust, the bones. He talks about the muscles and how the nerves communicate with each other. Just breaks it down to all these different levels that I never even thought of. And I love his approach. So Pinnacle Wellness Center, use the hashtag Elkivate. He always has specials. He's located in Pleasanton on West Las Positas and Hop Yard. Oh gosh, I'm trying to go by memory. I think it's 5994 West Las Positas Suite 207. Yeah, that sounds right. Pinnacle Wellness Center.
But you can Google it.
Exactly. I just try to have those things memorized. But also his link is in my podcast, so you can find his link. I want to make sure I'm not leaving anybody out. Lisa Roberts Curbello, can't wait to see you. Sorry you're working so much. Thank you for being a loyal subscriber. Mike Kaufman, loyal subscriber, not always loyal listener, but he gets around to it.
I know. Hey, come on.
I know. Everybody's like, I've been too busy.
He listens to you all day long, all right?
Exactly. Well,
Way
I
to
don't
go,
know
Mike.
about that.
Hang in there, buddy.
I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. I think I covered everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you can invite me anytime.
Yes. Well, there's going to be a part 2 because everybody's going to be texting in your questions.
Right.
Everybody's going to be texting in their questions, comments, concerns. Remember to like, share, comment. It helps the algorithm. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure. Yeah.
It was so fun. Yeah, we went over time, but shit happens.
Peace.
Thank you so much. Ciao for now.
All right.